Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel Study Online PK. This is our first video on our YouTube channel, and today we are diving into the fascinating world of political geography. In this video, we define political geography and discuss about the status and scope of political geography. But don't worry, we are going to break it down into simple terms so that everyone can understand. So what exactly is political geography? Well, political geography is all about the relationship between political system and geographic space. In other words, it is the study of how countries, borders, and governments interact with the physical world around us. Another question that why political geography is important. So you might be wondering why should we care about political geography? It is important. It helps us understand how political decisions impact the way we live and how countries relate to one another. From border and territories to resources and conflict, political geography play a big role in our world. Let's break down some basic concepts in political geography. Border and boundaries. Borders are lines that separate one country from another. Boundaries can be natural like rivers and mountains, or they can be man-made, agreed upon by governments. State and nation. A state is a defined territory with its own government. A nation is a group of people who share a common culture, history, and upon language. Sometimes a nation and state are the same, but not always. Sovereignty. Sovereignty means that a country has control over its own affairs without interference from other nation. It's like being the boss of your own house. Political region. These are areas with common political characteristics like European Union countries with a region often work together on things like trade and security. Another example that the United Nations is an organization where countries come together to discuss global issues like peace and development. It's a great example of how political geography influences international cooperation. So there you have it, a simple breakdown of political geography. We have covered the basic of borders, state, sovereignty, and more. Remember, political geography helps us to see how the world, countries, and governments fit together like a puzzle. Let's talk about the scope and status of political geography. So the scope of political geography starting from the political borders and boundaries. Let's talk about line on maps. Political geography is all about these lines that separate countries. Sometimes it's a river or mountains, and other time it's just a made up lines. These lines can change how country gets along. So, for example, remember the Great Wall of China. It was built to keep out invaders and show how borders can be really important. State formation and sovereignty. This part looks at how countries become official and independent. We learn about why other countries agree to recognize them and how they run things inside their own borders. For example, when the Soviet Union broke up in 1991, it leads too many new countries. Political geography helps us see how this happened and why it matters. Geopolitical relationship and alliance. Ever heard of countries teaming up or not getting along? Political geography explains why this happened. It's like countries playing a big game of chess, and where they are on the map can change how they play. Think about NATO, a group of countries that work together. It formed because of where countries are located and who they want to protect themselves from. Territorial disputes. Sometimes places look peaceful on the outside, but there are arguments about who owns what. Political geography helps us understand why this happened and what it means. For example, the fight over Senkaku Island between Japan and China show how even small island can change big disagreements. Borders control and migration. This part is about who gets to come in and out of countries. Political geography helps us see why countries make rules about who can come and how this affects people looking for a new home. For example, remember the news about people trying to get into the US from Mexico. Political geography helps us understand why this is a big deal. So there you have it. Political geography is like a secret code that helps us figure out how the world works. We have talked about borders, countries forming, friendship and fights between nations, arguments about who owns what and who gets to cross border. It's a bit like putting together a jigsaw puzzle of our world. Thank you for hanging out with us today. If you found this interesting, remember to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Until next time, keep exploring and have fun with political geography.